So really appreciate you all coming today. We're rolling out AI features all over the place. This is kind of not nearly as sophisticated as some of the like zAssistant for doing inspections and things like that, but I think it's still going to prove out to be very, very useful. And so let's just get right into it. So if you oh, and by the way, like we were saying, we got a bunch of webinars that we've had. We're going to show this again at the end. But if you want a one-on-one webinar, this is because we're diving into a specific feature here. If you're more just trying to learn about Z Inspector, you want to look at joining perhaps this one-on-one webinar, something about our Z Assistant feature, or as well as you can go and schedule a one-on-one demo there as well and do as many of those one-on-one demos as you need. You can do all that there. We had a series of webinars just in the last kind of couple months, and you can see all of those here as well. Our next webinar is coming up in about a month. And I know this one is kind of like really near and dear to my heart in terms of like email inbox replacement. There are many systems that are trying to do this. I think we are doing something very unique. And it's kind of a special way. It's really designed from a property management perspective. So if you're interested in that, you may want to join for this one coming up here as well. All right. zAssistant.ai is our approach to using AI in a very practical way. We want it to be used right now. And if you've tried it, you're trying ChatGPT and you're not, maybe getting the best results or this or that, we are really trying to structure things. And we're specifically calling it, is your assistant. And we know that AI is very, very powerful. But this idea that it's just going to do everything and take over there and some agent's going to do this and figure everything out is, I think, just almost just silly. And most of it is marketing hype for at least the next 2, 3 years, so then we'll see how things kind of evolve from there. But we are approaching AI in a very specific way to make it useful and available right now. Our first kind of main tool with this is our inspection assistant. So now when you're looking at it, kind of a inspection table on the mobile app, you'll see this little magic wand. Type that, and you can just kind of hold your phone over something, talk about it. You're going to get real-time feedback as you're talking about it. We're using real-time AI to see what you're talking about. Plus, we're processing it, doing all your comments. We've made a ton of improvements over the last year, and it is really, really powerful. And so we've characterized our first million images with this. So you're still going to get a static report with JPEGs and all that. It's got all kinds of cool stuff, multi-language support, multiple users can be talking at the same time. It's really cool. Everyone can try that out for free. Just tap the magic wand while you're doing an inspection, and you can do up to 3 videos per inspection at no cost. So to really kind of try that out. But that is the backbone for what we've learned on how to really how to kind of make it in a very practical way and make it available for your business kind of right now. Okay, so let's kind of get into what we're talking about with this feature. And like many of the things that we developed, this feature was not our idea. We started seeing people on Facebook and our user group doing things like taking our inspection PDFs and putting them into ChatGPT and saying, hey, write me an email to send to the owner, for example. And, we thought, well, that's a really cool idea. But the problem is when you're putting a PDF, you might have 500 pictures, you might have all kinds of stuff in there. That is almost treated like from an AI point of view as one giant image. And so it's kind of analyzing everything at once, and getting really good accuracy with that approach will be very, very difficult, and to make that in a controllable manner. And so now we've kind of made these tools so like it's all within Z Inspector. It's going to have your results going to be very consistent. And then you're going to be able to totally customize the prompts, have different prompts for template. It's all going to be there. And so we think it's just kind of putting that at your fingertips in a very kind of practical way. So let's get into that. And here are some of the quotes that people were doing. This was before our feature, Wolfgang talked about there. He was trying to like get an email that was appropriate for the tenant and this and that. And like And that's kind of your perspective on how you interpret things is different. John there was like he was like looking very specifically at exterior walkthroughs, right? That was that. Danielle here, she was like, doing this for, getting owner emails, someone else on different on periodic inspections from Drew. So like people were just doing different things with this. So we're like, let's try and solve all these problems in a generic way and give people though their custom solutions. All right, so rather than just using a PDF, okay, kind of we talked about that. It's treated like an image, and then we're going to be kind of more structured, and then you can really customize the prompt. But importantly, you can save the prompt for your company, right? So you don't want everyone going into ChatGPT and using a different prompt, right? And so now you can structure it for different things and do that. The other thing is that just the actual action of, let's say, taking a PDF and manually uploading it to ChatGPT, that's going to maybe take a few minutes just of your physical time to go download it, upload it, wait for it to be processed, get the results. But now we're going to basically just be doing that for you automatically when you click submit. And then that's just going to be all just analyzed here for you. And the results are just already done. All right. So basically, how you're going to do this is coming all from our new dashboard website. Okay. So all these new tools are going to be coming up from there. So if you're, right now, when people log into Z Inspector, they're still logged into kind of I'll calling it our classic website. So to run this feature, you need to click dashboard at the top of the screen. That's going to bring you up on basically this new website. That's kind of where most of our new features on. This new website, it's all based on a property. So you're going to click properties there on the left. And then from there, you're going to open up and you're going to pick a particular property. And we're going to do this here as well. And then everything for that property is right there. You're going to go to the documents section, and that's where you can view your completed inspections. So this is like basically go to dashboard, pick the property, go to documents, view the inspection. That's how we need to kind of view it. Now, we're showing you here what's called manual mode first. Now, we're going to get into how it's automated, so it's kind of automatically triggered. But once you set up, that's only going to going to happen and use this AI prompt going forward. So for future inspections, if you want to analyze your old inspection results, you're going to need to use this manual mode anyways. You also use this if you ever want to reprocess it. So it's the same structure. This is basically you kind of open up the inspection. It'll say create summary kind of in the upper right. It'll pull up whatever is our default prompt. You can change that prompt right there and then hit process it. Here, once it's processing, this takes like a couple minutes. And at this point, you can just close it, and then it's going to email you the results, or you can open it from there, and that's going to happen. Okay, so like, let's kind of like just gonna go and just do it right now. So I'm going to go into dashboard. Okay, I see this is my new view. I click properties. I've got a property called Demo Street, so I'm going to pick that. This is everything going on with this property. I've got all these different inspections here. Now, also, this tool does not work on in-progress inspections. This only works on completed inspections. For the in-progress inspections, you're still doing that on your mobile app. That's where you're using zAssistant.ai to actually do your inspections and things there. This feature here that we're talking about today is really for your completed inspection. So here they're going to say submitted. And here I'm going to view. Okay, so this is my kind of inspection. It's a very simple landscaping inspection, kind of curbside where the tenant's parking on the grass. Okay, unfortunately, we've all seen that. And then, so for your old inspections, it'll look just like this. It'll basically say create summary at the top. So I hit create summary. This is this prompt, okay? And we're going to show you how to customize that. Here, I could just type in anything and do something different if I wanted. And now I hit process. And so again, this example here, it's going to take like, a minute or something like that, but it actually did it pretty quick. And you can see this is like, it filled that out and analyzed that. In this case, it gave me a bulleted list. I'm going to show you how to customize this and kind of get kind of more intuitive kind of results. Okay, so we're going to get into that as well. But that's basically out using all AI. At that point, it's all there. I can hit open summary. I can see my results. And now I can actually I could hit new prompt and reanalyze it if I wanted and change my prompt. Or this is just really kind of free form HTML field. I can underline, bold, do all that stuff and just edit this if I want and hit save. Okay. And then hit save and send because it's actually going to email you a copy of that as well. So you can just manually tweak this result here as well. Okay. The other thing that you can do once you have that result, you're going to again get it in your email or also on this public share, then it's going to then be showing up here as well. And so here is where this is in this tool. This is the inspection link down below. That will also be in your email. And this is where you could actually just email it to the tenant or owner or something like that as well. Okay, so that is also kind of your possibility. So have all this in your email already. You can forward it from there, or you can hit in this under up there under the public share, and then that's your summary. Again, you can further change it here if you wanted, and then email that out. Okay, now we're gonna be doing a bunch more on it, but that's what it's like kind of right now. Okay, all right, and then if we're seeing any questions or anything like that, please let me know.
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a question, a couple of questions from one question we have from Allison. I was just responding through the chat. But Allison is asking, is this an auto feature for any paid subscribers? Will this be available to everyone or is this an upgrade?
Yeah. What our goal is to do this, everything I've shown right now and the customization for everybody on all paid accounts. So like that's our goal. Now there's a particular, and now this right here though is just analyzing, and we're going to cover this at the end, is just analyzing the text. There's an option to actually analyze AI with the photos. Now, right now, all of you will be able to access that part of the feature for no cost. We're just not sure how much that's going to cost us in terms of like tokens and things like that. So it's possible for the analyzing the picture option that there may be a more premium plan or something like that for that. But our goal is to make this really available for everybody. And right now, everybody can use it. And this kind of text only analysis, I think, is already very, very useful. And that we're anticipating that being on all of our plans. Oh, okay. Now, Louisa asks, is this summary from the condition summary on top of the inspection? So how we are doing this AI executive summary is we're not actually adding it to the inspection itself. The idea is that this is sitting on top of the inspection. You might email it to somebody else. We're going to go into, other things you can do with it as well. And then it has the inspection link. So the idea is this kind of your summary, and then the inspection link is kind of another item. We've kind of made the decision, at least for now, not to put this kind of AI executive summary actually in the PDF. The idea is it's your assistant. We want you to open it, review it. Do you like it? Change it, edit it, and do something with it. So that's the approach that we've taken, at least initially. We may add some other features on that kind of coming forward. So Maggie may ask a general question about videos and things like that. So I think our standard videos I think that it depended on the quality, were typically about 30 seconds. For these AI videos, you can get up to 3-minute videos, and you can, if you're on a paid plan includes that, you can do as many as you need. It's 3 of those videos on the free account, really for you just to try it out. It's a very expensive thing from a feature point of view. So it has to make sure you're on the right paid plan. All right. Okay, so let's kind of keep going here. Okay, so this is kind of this is kind of how it runs in manual mode that we just showed you. This is kind of result usage. So again, you can click there and you can publicly share it and send that out. Now, we don't have this right now. This feature just got live, but it's coming very, very soon. There'll be a dedicated Zap just for this feature. So that Zap will put in that AI summary, and it's going to put the actual public shareable link for the inspection. So the idea is you can do something else with it through Zapier or something like that. Okay, so that's coming here before long. You could do it right now already through Zapier because you're going to have the results in your email as well. Now, and this is the format. The format of both the public share option and the email option are going to be basically the same. So it's basically got the AI executive summary at the top and the stuff about the inspection, the actual inspection link kind of near the bottom. We may make some changes and tweaks to that, but that's kind of currently what's happening there. All right. Now, when you are doing this, let's kind of go into this here. you can see here it says open summary now, kind of at the top of that. And these are the different status values that you could see right there. So create summary, that's going to be for all of your old inspections where you have not, AI has not analyzed it. That's what's going to look like. This is what's going to look like where the AI has done its analysis, and then that's where you can click it, open it, see it, edit it, so forth there. These two you're not going to see very often, but this is when AI is actually doing its processing. Typically, that's going to take 1 to 2 minutes, so you're not going to see that one too often, but it is there. And then this is if it's a possible error. I've actually haven't seen this so far in our testing, but that may be if there's a server outage or something like that, or maybe there was just some really weird prompt or something else. That's all possible. And then it would say there was just an error in the AI analysis. And then you could click it, change your prompt, and then do another analysis. So Capstone Lead said, do you still have to manually enter the information found on the inspection report to get the AI inspection summary? I'm not quite sure exactly what that question means, so you might want to just rephrase it. But basically, the manual processing is to just kind of reprocess old reports, and it's going to look at anything that's text in the report, it's going to analyze. All right. Now, here are some prompt tips. Okay. So, stuff that we learned in our original testing on this. So, like when we originally did this, our original prompts were do not mention anything is good condition or does not need follow up. The idea is we kind of did it like the summary table where we just focused on the problems. And so, like, it was a summary of that. And the results ended up not being very good in that because it wasn't really a good summary. It was just too specific on these problems. It's really not what we wanted. But then by adding into the prompt things like this, like, you know, please summarize this inspection. First, we want to do an overall summary, and then and that gave us some really interesting things. It really said even if I marked all the rooms as satisfactory, it would kind of summarize that. It actually identified if you marked smoke detectors and CO detectors as satisfactory, it highlighted that as like key safety items that you checked off, and it put that actually into the summary. Okay, so these are some things that we'd recommend putting in your prompts rather than just put it on something more like that. Some other things that we learned, is that if you don't really say it, you're going to like, if you just say, hey, analyze this inspection report, you're going to basically get back a bulleted list of things. And we just found out and that might be appropriate for you depending on how you're going to use this. And you may want to say, give me bulleted lists of problems. That is, so that is a possibility. But we just got we got better results that I like better if I just said, hey, give me this in a paragraph. So I put that into my prompt, give me a paragraph format. This I think really, really changed the output quality of the results. And I need to do it from a PM perspective. So add in something like this. The inspection results are suitable for me, the property manager, to send to the property owner. Just adding that to the prompt totally changed how the results were portrayed. Okay. So and you can kind of obviously customize all that however you want. It just gave you something really, really different. If you didn't say something like that, it would just kind of if you said something like this is like, hey, I am the repair person and I want a list of every single possible thing to repair, you're going to get very, very different summary results than if you have something like that. Okay. That these are suitable for me, the property manager, and the owner. Okay. So keep that in mind. This one was also very interesting. I did this on a sample on a tenant completed move in, and it's a really big house. Their tenants are really rough on it, 7-bedroom house, college town. I kind of analyzed that one. And we got all kinds of kind of really not really good results really when we analyzed the tenant move in. It was like everything needed to be repaired in a summary and things like that. And so adding in something like this, and we now added this into our default template. And so if the inspection title has the word tenant, right, then I'm going to have and I give an example here, like tenant move in or tenant periodic. I said, be extra cautious interpreting these results. And it totally changed how it analyzed the report. It with summaries, it kind of gave you the results and said, yeah, here are some things that are critical. Here are some things that are, kind of okay, but the unit is still kind of habitable. You may want to look at them. Okay, so these are some examples of how to do this. we've added these now into our default prompts. Okay. So for the most part, I think this will work kind of out of the box, but you can totally have a different prompt per template. So like, maybe on your tenant move-ins, you want to be really more specific. And say something there. That is something that you can do. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. All right. So let's kind of keep going on here. So, and these are a couple example prompts will be in this presentation for reference that we did, and kind of like this kind of is what we did to give us our bulleted list. This is an example of one we gave kind of something more complete, kind of like little paragraphs. And and it had little things like it gave me 2 paragraphs, property summary, and then it put in my repair work summary in the second paragraph. But if there's no repair work, then exclude the second paragraph. Things like that kind of make it very, very useful. And you just kind of automatically get kind of good results on that. Okay. Now let's talk about how prompts are working. Okay. So if you don't do anything out of the box, then it's just going to work. You're just going to get the Z inspector kind of provided our default prompt. And I'll show you where that is. And then because you can now easily customize that. So you're going to want a single kind of customer prompt, a single default prompt that's going to be across all of your inspections. Okay. So that is, you're going to want to add that no matter what. And so now, if you don't like our provided prompt, like for instance, you may, like an example, like you're in Texas, you may want to write in your prompt, don't use the word inspection or inspector, only use the word something like, field agent or anything like that. That would be an example where you might really need to customize that prompt. Okay. And that's a easy example of how you could use AI. I'll show you where to customize that. And then you can further customize it template by template. Okay. And so that's kind of how that works. And then if I'm reprocessing so if I go in there, I open up an inspection, and if I hit open summary, it's going to show you there as the prompt what was last used on doing that analysis. So that's the way you can kind of quickly go tweak it, change it, modify it, reprocess it. Quickly change it, modify it, reprocess it. Once you get it dialed in, you can either copy it over to your default or copy it over to your template. Okay. And we're going to still go in there. Okay. So, all right. So, like, this is the basic steps of how you're going to kind of go forward. First, you want to kind of try this out in manual mode first. Just kind of analyze your inspection results, like see what you're getting. And then this is where you can change your default prompt. Okay. And so, right now, this is actually still on our classic website on some of these older settings. But if I hit settings, admin settings, and I go to zAssistant settings right here, and the very bottom of that's showing you our default prompt for reference. Okay. And if you can just start typing in there and make your own prompt and hit save. That is essentially how you're going to change your default prompt. Okay. So that's how that will work right there. And then we're going to cover that feature there in a minute. Okay. So that's basically how you change your default prompt. And if you don't have anything else, it's going to work across your templates. Now, next, you may want to customize here specific templates. And you probably don't need to customize all of them, but you may, like, if you're really big into tenant inspections, you probably want to customize that, or maybe your move-ins and move-outs, right? So you have to kind of think about it, how you want to do that. Okay. And basically how to customize it. If you've never worked with templates before, that might be a little bit weird. Basically we have this, we're going to click new draft on template. I'm going to show this here. We have a system document kind of instruction field. I'm going to show you how to kind of get rid of that. That basically tells us that you've never changed this template, so we can overwrite the template and update it. If you delete that, we're not going to touch it anymore. Okay. And then you can basically copy and paste. This is kind of like inspection, or I'll show you also how to just kind of manually add it there as well in there. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. Okay. Document templates. And let me make sure I've got one that's like has the system field. I probably should have already kind of had that. Okay. All right. So there's a system document field. So I would basically just do a single click on that field and backspace. And now that system line is gone. You can put this other one here anywhere else, but I can just kind of go in here. If I copied it from like this example presentation like that, I could just copy and paste it in there, or I can go into system instruction. I can type in some, zAssistant. Okay. I can add that. And then when I click on it, I basically have executive summary equals, and I can say, do a thorough analysis of this inspection. Okay. And that is how basically you're going to customize a prompt. That is it. Okay. And you can put in there as much as you want. If you got something long, just kind of double click this. That in that portion right there, you can put in as long as prompt as you want in there. And how I would recommend you really do it is play around here on this over thing and said hit new prompt. Play around with it here. Get this how you want it. Do this. Try it here on inspection. Keep analyzing it here. Get it how you want it. Process it. And then once you get it, you can go basically, you can, copy that and paste that into that actual template. Okay. All right. So that's kind of basically how you're going to customize it template by template. Again, most of you probably won't even need to do it. I think our default template out of the box is pretty good, and you probably can just use that. All right, so now let's go into the next step. So once you've kind of played with this, you've got your templates, maybe you want to customize it kind of, one by one, you can do that. Okay, then step 3 is to basically turn on auto submission. Okay. And so basically here you're going to go into settings, admin settings, and the assistant settings. And right here, hit executive summary on submit. And you just basically click that and hit save. Okay. And that's basically all you need to do. And so at that point, with the inspection is submitted, we're going to automatically process it using your AI prompts, using your rules. We're going to send you a copy in your email. And then at any time, you can open up that inspection report, click open here, change it, do a new prompt, and do anything from there. Let's kind of now, this is kind of our step 4. This is kind of the feature that we kind of talked about at the beginning. We do not have this feature on by default. And to be honest, I have not even done a lot of testing on this part of the feature myself, but you can, and right now you have to email support and we can turn that on for you, that when the AI prompt, when the assistant is processing your reports, that it will look at not just the text, but it's also going to look at your photos. Okay. So different people might do different things about it. One, like I think even if you're going to do that, you're probably going to add in something in your prompt, like pay more attention to the text in this report as to the photos. Or you might something said, hey, if there's something in the photos that wasn't pointed out in the text, maybe illuminate that in the third paragraph or something like that, right? So you're gonna have to really kind of experiment with it. Keep that in mind. It's gonna really slow down your testing because we got now all these different pictures. The AI has got to go and analyze them. And so it's gonna slow that down. And I think for the most part, just analyzing and summarizing your text is already incredibly valuable. So I think most people are going to start with there. But if you want that, you want to analyze the photos, just contact us and we will turn that on for you. And again, eventually that feature, we may need to charge for it. We just don't know how much it's going to cost us yet. So we're going to have to evaluate that. But we're going to, whatever we can, we're going to make that affordable. So this is kind of, near the end here, just, some may have missed. We've got a bunch of different, these are AI in action tools that you can use kind of right now. Okay. And so here under zAssistant, right? That's kind of we talked about at the beginning, walk and talk, hit that magic wand, you can do that. We also have this really cool knowledge base builder. You're going to be seeing more and more from that on us. But if I go onto knowledge base, okay, I can create all these different articles. You can use them for canned responses and this and that. You can add this link to your website. You can actually do things like here, like a PDF agreement and like a lease agreement, and then say, hey, give me my top 10 commonly asked questions about my lease agreement. Right? And so it'll actually help generate your articles automatically. You could do the same thing, add an owner category. And so you could add something like this on your website. So that's another AI tool we have. We also, this year, we've launched an integration with Meld. And so you're using Meld as a maintenance coordination platform. Without AI, we could not do that integration. There's just too many things about kind of our vendor categories, their vendor categories. So you don't even know it. It's all transparent. It's all seamless. But we're actually using AI to facilitate that integration. It works very robust. It works really well. We also launched this here a couple couple of weeks back, and that now you can actually, if you're trying to generate like standard procedures or something like that, you can literally just click in here, write a prompt, generate me a checklist for my renewal process. AI will automatically generate for you, and it's really cool. Then you, of course, manually go in and tweak it and change it. I think if you're looking for a simple way to build processes, if you're keeping processes, track of processes in something like Asana or Excel, you want to look at that. And now we got our new AI tool, and we got a bunch more things that we are and working on. We want to make kind of AI very useful, very practical, and kind of available right now. Here's kind of our couple of our upcoming webinars. And so here we're gonna this is our I talked about our inbox one. You can scan that one. We've got really talking about process building, and we're just gonna really focus on move-ins. So like different ways you can do your move-ins, whether you want tenants to move-ins, you're remotely sign them, we're gonna do so forth. We're gonna really just focus on move-in inspections about that webinar there. And so you can kind of join that if that is something you're interested in. So we kind of blew through all this today. I think this is a really it's a really powerful feature, but it's actually just really easy to use. It's doing a bunch of stuff for you. I think we made this one here, a pretty short. I think we kind of covered it. So I really appreciate your time. Please try this out. You don't need to get into using templates or anything like that. You can just go in there, try this out, view your results, hit new prompt, try out different prompts and analyze this. And we're really excited to see you trying this feature out. We're looking forward to your feedback. We've already learned just in kind of our initial rollout, we've already got a bunch of ideas around this to really making this a little bit more powerful. Well, thank you so much for your time, everybody. We look forward to your feedback. Look forward to you trying out this new feature. We know you're all the cutting edge people looking to try out AI and make it practical in your business. Okay, so thanks so much for your time.